How you doing? I'm Callan and this is SLAPPEDHAM. The following scary images are leaving people on edge. But as always, before we dive in, remember to hit that subscribe button for more creepy content, just like this.
Caves, while often magnificent in their beauty, are often associated with some very real fears. Go deep enough and you're bound to be entrenched in total darkness and freezing cold temperatures. Not to mention the isolation. If something dangerous happens deep down in a cave, you may be waiting a long time for the right kind of rescue to arrive. Two cavegoers at the Devil's Icebox Cave in Nelson Ledge's Quarry Park, Ohio, were fortunate enough to get away from something before they were in need of rescue. But just what this something actually was remains a mystery. The photo of these cavegoers, uploaded by Jennifer Albaugh-Judson on Facebook, has been making many would-be explorers giving the activity a second thought. In the photo, we can see two individuals making their way through the cave, tightly squeezed between two large rocks. Behind the individual in the back, we can see what seems to be a ghostly entity, with large, completely wide eyes looking directly into the camera. The figure's head is white and almost skull-like. Behind this figure is a strange formation that almost looks like a billow of smoke. Some viewers believe they can see faces in this smoky substance as well. The poster of this photograph claims that no editing or Photoshop was done, as some other Facebookers were skeptical of the authenticity of the photo. They believe that the entity looked too much like a human male, especially since the figure seemed to have short black hair on top of its head. Also, if you look at the cave explorer just in front of the entity, they too have strange looking eyes, making many believe it's just a camera glitch and that the entity is just a third cave explorer. So could this just be a cleverly manipulated image, or is this cave home to some terrifying entity? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. A trip to the beach is supposed to be a pleasant day out, but unfortunately for one couple in the Philippines, their trip to Albaugh-Judson resulted in an eerie encounter. SLAPPEDHAM viewer Jeffery BP provided the image for all to try and make sense of. The picture shows a woman, the viewer's wife, standing in the ocean. In the background, we can see an island of trees on the beach. Right above this set of trees is a bizarre looking object that seems to hover in the air. A close-up of this object shows something quite strange. The object actually looks to be a woman with a hunched back, very long dark hair and no feet floating in the air. The Philippines are no stranger to sightings of ghostly women. In fact, the country's filled with stories of sightings of the White Lady. This woman, typically dressed in white, is a ghost who's suffered great tragedy in the past, such as the loss of a partner or child. She's said to haunt the area where the tragedy occurred, scaring all others who dare to go there. While the woman shown in this photo here doesn't seem to be wearing any sort of white garment, her actions resemble that typically associated with the White Lady, hovering over a certain spot, looking frozen in place and sad. Did this beach visitor get a glimpse of the local legend? What do you make of this bizarre floating object? Let me know your theories in the comment section below. As most hospitals have seen a fair amount of death at some point or another, it is perhaps no surprise that hospital employees and patients alike report seeing strange things. Reddit user IntelligentFix3680 shared an eerie photo allegedly taken in what was supposed to be an unused wing of a hospital. At first glance, we can see what looks to be a typical hospital room in the photo. However, focusing on the center of the image, we can spot what's setting the comment section of Reddit ablaze. Here stands what looks to be a small young girl, her face turned downwards, staring directly into the camera. She wears a dark dress and has pale skin, giving her a ghostly aura. A lot of viewers believe the hospital wing actually looks like it's currently being used, however. Redditors have pointed to the trash bag in the trash can, blankets stacked in the blanket warmer section, and charts hung up on the door. However, other Redditors have stated that some unused wings of hospitals are still routinely restocked and cleaned in case they need to be used in the future, which could explain these observations. And so, while this image is doing the rounds as a supposed ghost photo, it's quite possible that this is just a little girl wandering around a hospital. Art is subjective, but sometimes enough people will unanimously agree that a piece makes them feel a certain way. That was the case with one image of an artwork shared by Reddit user Joshy240. In this instance, the feeling felt by thousands was unsettling. While this sighting isn't supernatural in any way, it's creepy nonetheless. There's no need to zoom in with this image or give it a second look, the horror is immediate. We can see some kind of underground tunnel, and to the left, what the Reddit user has dubbed a wall person. He has one leg jutting out along with his torso, and his left arm is dangling downwards. Reddit users were in agreement that this picture was downright creepy. Why the artist decided to install this artwork is unknown, but some speculate it was simply to creep out whoever decided to investigate the tunnel. Imagine exploring this dingy dark tunnel and coming across this thing. It's a no from me. What was supposed to be a beautiful sunny afternoon of play turned into a day of mystery for parent Jessica Jones-Ebert. Rather than simply getting a few cute pictures of her children playing on the lawn, she ended up with something eerie instead. In the first picture, we see her son playing on the lawn, seemingly having a good time. In the second picture, her son has turned to face her in the camera, and viewers are met with a chilling sight. To the right of the child seems to be another young child, though this child looks nearly transparent and grey, almost ghost-like. Finally, in the third image, Jessica's daughter joins her son in play. The possible ghost child in question is now in the background, staring at the two living children from a distance. It's possible that the third mystery child could actually just be another human child caught in rapid movement, which would explain his or her blurriness. However, Jessica's certain that there were no other children nearby when the photo was taken. Could this eerie grey figure actually be the spirit of a deceased child? Perhaps something awful happened in this very park, and the spirit is trying to make contact. Give these photos another look and decide for yourself as to what's actually happening here. This photo was shared by the group Anomalous and Paranormal Phenomena in Buryatia. It was taken at Lake Baikal in Buryatia, Siberia in mid-2020. In the photo, we can see a man emerging from the lake in the center of frame. Just a short distance behind him is what looks to be a shadowy figure resembling a large man. This shadow is also emerging from the lake with a mist surrounding him. The original photographer of this picture explained that there was no fog on that particular day and that the weather was clear, so this figure couldn't be explained as being some type of mist. Some were sure that the so-called shadow figure was actually just a trick of the camera, perhaps a case of double exposure. The strange thing is, though, that the figure looks to be making a wave as it emerges from the water. This photo isn't the only strange event to take place here either. Lake Baikal is the largest freshwater lake on Earth. It's estimated to be around 25 million years old, with a depth of nearly 1,700 meters. Ancient cultures revered the lake for its life-giving properties, and over many centuries the lake has been the center of myth and legend. It's said that a very large, unknown creature lives at the bottom of the lake. In some texts, it's referred to as a fire dragon. In the 12th to 14th centuries, marauding Mongol armies would raid nearby villages and make bloody sacrifices to the dragon of Lake Baikal. Thousands of people were killed in the raids, their bodies dropped into the waters of the lake as offerings. In more recent years, reports of extraterrestrial activity have centered on the lake. According to former Soviet naval officer Vladimir Sasa, declassified documents released by the Russian government report that in 1982, 7 military divers were performing exercises in the depths of the lake when they spotted underwater vehicles. It was indicated that the unknown craft moved at speeds far greater than anything the Soviet Navy was in possession of at the time. The squad of divers were also said to encounter strange silver-clad beings swimming deep within the lake. According to Zaza, the report indicates that the divers tried to apprehend the beings, but it resulted in a confrontation that ended with the deaths of 3 of the divers and the rest being badly injured. To compound the mysteries of Lake Baikal, in April 2009, NASA astronauts photographed a large disc-like impression beneath the lake. Many UFO enthusiasts speculated that the shape indicated that a large craft of some kind was hidden deep within the lake. This, coupled with reports of local residents seeing strange flying objects regularly around the lake, makes for a puzzling conclusion. So could the strange, shadowy figure captured in this photo be somehow linked to these mysterious reports? Or could it even be a lingering spirit from one of the poor souls sacrificed at the hands of the Mongol hordes? With so many strange tales surrounding the lake, it's hard to know for sure just what's been captured in this unsettling photo. Other places filled with tales of ghostly sightings are prisons, specifically prisons with a long history of executions. The Old Melbourne Jail, located in Melbourne, Australia, certainly meets this criteria, having executed over 130 inmates in its nearly 80-year operation. Its most notorious prisoner was Ned Kelly, infamous for being a bushranger in Australia. Nowadays, many visitors flock to the prison grounds, now a museum, to get a glimpse of the prison's history. One of these visitors was SLAPPEDHAM viewer Tim Lapham, who snapped a photo during his visit that has many people freaked out. The photo consists of a wide shot of the interior of the prison. We can see the 2 levels of the prison, each composed of long hallways with prison cells dotted on each side. It's on the right side of the photo that the suspicious activity appears. Coming out of one of the cell blocks directly behind the woman strolling down the hallway is what looks to be a head hovering in mid-air. It looks to be disembodied and somewhat transparent. A quick noise analysis shows that the photo doesn't appear to have been manipulated in any way. A luminance gradient filter seems to show that the disembodied head is indeed transparent. The object is slightly indented when looking through the filter, which suggests that light is filtering through the object. The photographer who shared the shot did mention that the cell in which this head appears was noticeably very cold, a common sign of paranormal activity. Not far from where this photo was taken is the infamous Cell 17. Many workers and visitors believe this to be the most haunted room in all of the prison. Those who have entered the foreboding cell have reported feeling inexplicably ill or emotionally unsettled. One occasion saw a seeing eye dog enter the room and become extremely agitated. The otherwise obedient and placid dog barked and snarled and had to be removed immediately. One journalist claims that they were pulled into the room by an unseen force. Could the supposed floating head caught on camera by Tim be a glimpse into the supernatural forces that are said to be lingering in this old building? As this prison has seen many deaths, it's not inconceivable that one of the executed prisoners could be choosing to haunt this place in the afterlife. Before we take a look at an eerie photo taken in an abandoned house, remember to hit that subscribe button, then tickle that little bell icon there and turn on all channel notifications. That way you'll be in the loop every time we drop our scary and mysterious videos. Also, remember to grab that thumbs up button by the hand there and tiptoe through the tulips. Abandoned houses tend to be a magnet for squatters, critters and adolescents looking for a place to have fun. For some, they also act as interesting material for photographs. A photographer, known only as RM, shared a photo to the internet that has caused quite a stir. In the photograph, we can see the abandoned house from a slight distance. The structure looks beat up with broken windows and torn panels across the house. However, a closer look at the lower right window shows something far more terrifying than a sketchy home. There seems to be a small face peering out of the window. Some have likened it to that of a little girl. Some viewers even thought there were faces to be seen in the upper window too. After it had been pointed out to the photographer that there seemed to be faces in the windows, she decided to go back to the location and see if she could spot either real-life people or even ghosts in the house. After closer inspection with her binoculars, she decided that the face in the lower window was simply a torn window shade, and the two faces in the upper window were just a reflection of a tree. Still, some remain skeptical of these explanations and believe that there could be children hiding out in this abandoned house. It will all come down to who's brave enough to venture inside the house and see what is truly lurking in there.
If you want to see some more freaky photos, then check out that link on the top there. Otherwise, this creepy playlist here will keep you entertained for hours and hours. Leave us a comment down below which one of these photos you thought was the weirdest or scariest. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time.